The samurai has always been one of my favorite type of warriors, with their unique weaponry and armor, fascinating history, and stout refusal to bring a dying man his drink. But with Samurai having been released in this latest expansion and starting straight at level 50 with all the abilities that entails, does that swordplay and flair translate well into actual gameplay? Let's get into exactly how to get started with Samurai in Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. I was thrilled to discover back in 2006 that Samurai is one of the most fun jobs to play in Final Fantasy XI. Solo skill chaining before was cool with some of the flashiest weapon skills in the game. Of course, I was slightly less than thrilled when I found out that Final Fantasy XIV, when it was released, had no such job. No Samurai option was on that list. Although to be fair, like Paladin and White Mage weren't on that list either. It was a weird time in 1.0. Flash forward one re-release and 2 expansions later, and Samurai has exploded onto the scene with Stormblood. The quest begins not in Kugane, as one would expect with all the samurai walking around, but actually in Ul'dah, by the Gladiator Ring, because samurai love gladiator matches, I guess. I don't, what? To kick this off, head to coordinates X9Y9 in Ul'dah near the Aetheryte Crystal, and talk to that random street corner person who's about to set you on your path to destiny. Word is spread of a new challenger in the Gladiator Ring, an older gentleman who keeps handedly defeating everybody who challenges him with strange swordplay that nobody's ever seen before. During the ensuing questline, you'll be instantly thrown into a fight, and while a level 50 sword is provided, nothing else is, so you may want to make sure you have some samurai gear on hand, or you'll be doing that fight naked, which could be fun in its own right. So before jumping into an apparently impossible fight with a level 50 job nobody's ever played before, how does it work? Keep in mind, I only have a couple of hours with the job myself, so this is more a reflection of how the job plays at 50 than how it will at level cap, but it should be a great jumping off point for everybody. Now, as a damage dealer, obviously your primary focus is damage, and Samurai pushes this to the extreme. The main goal of the rotation is to build up your Sen gauge, which is broken up into 3 different types: Getsu, Ka, and Setsu. Depending on how many of these are activated, which is shown with your Sen gauge, different weapon skills can be unleashed with Yajutsu. Yajutsu? There's no way I'm pronouncing Yajutsu right. It's got like an I-A-I. Yajutsu. If that sounds complicated, it's really not once you get going with it. So let's start out with the single target stuff. So Hikaze, the level 1 ability, opens up all of your chains. To activate Getsu, lead Hikaze into Jinpu and follow that up with Gecko. It's your standard 3-chain attack thing. It's not anything we haven't seen before. Any fan of Final Fantasy XI will probably recognize a couple of these names as samurai weapon skills from that game as well, especially Gecko. Come on. It even looks the same. It's kind of like, I swear it's similar. Ka, on the other hand, started out with the Kaze, but then leads into Shifu and then closes with Kasha. Oh my god, they even kept the cherry blossoms. It is literally Tachikasha. These chains also both provide you buffs though, with the second weapon skill in the chain. Jinpu in the Getsu chain gives you a 10% damage buff over 30 seconds, and Shifu in the Ka chain decreases the delay in your weapon skills cast and recast times, so it's a good reason to balance between the 2 chains to keep both buffs up at the same time. For both Getsu and Ka, there are also AoE variants that can fill the Sen gauge though. These are kicked off by Fuga, a cone AoE, which can either be followed up with Mangetsu or Oka. If I say it like an old guy Japanese voice, it sounds a little bit Mangetsu, Oka. Both of these are circular AoEs that grant Ketsu and Ka respectively. Setsu so far can only be achieved one way, by opening with Hikaze and following it up with Yukikaze, a level 50 weapon skill that decreases the target's slashing resistance by 10% for 30 seconds. So now that we have all this Getsu, Ka, and Setsu, what can we do with them? Release it all at once for amazing damage, obviously. Now, what is released with this technique changes based on how many of the Sen gauges you actually have filled up. Only one, and you get a 60-second damage over time ability called Higanbana? Higanbana? 2, and you can fire off Tenka Goken, a cone AoE with 360 potency. But the fun one, if you have all 3 filled, you can unleash Midari Setsugeka, a 720 potency technique that is just a ton of fun. And that's basically it in a nutshell. I promise if that sounded complicated and frustrating, in practice it's a very natural flow. And if it sounded boring and easy, in practice it's awesome. Now that's not to say there aren't other abilities. There's Third Eye, reducing damage on the next attack, and looks like there are other stats that you get later on past 50. Ageha is a move that can only be used when the enemy is under 20% health, kind of like a final blow kind of thing. And NP is a standard ranged attack with no additional effect. Did you just throw in his katana? Finally, there's Meikyo Sushui, which allows you to fire off any weapon skill to its fullest effect without doing the whole chain first. This lets you do a quick Gecko, Kasha, and Yukikaze to immediately have a full Sen gauge, and it's awesome. It's actually a lot of fun. It feels very much like Final Fantasy XI Samurai did at its core, building up to these ultimate moves like Final Fantasy XI's weapon skills in general, which were the core of the Samurai job, and with Meikyo Sushi, Meikyo You can fire them off in quick succession, which feels a lot like being able to do multiple weapon skills at once in Final Fantasy XI. I don't know, it just reminds me a lot of the job. So far, this job has been a way more enjoyable experience than I ever expected. The look and the feel of the job both combine to be a very rewarding damage dealer. Let me know in the comments if you've been playing Samurai and what you think of it, and how you've been enjoying Stormblood so far. As always, like the video if you liked it and dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why. I want to know, do you hate Samurai? Because if you do, that's fine, it's a weird job. Subscribe if you're new. I've got plenty of Final Fantasy XIV videos out already, and way more coming because I can't stop playing the game. Also, if you happen to love Final Fantasy XI too, check out all those videos. I've got a bunch from that game, and I've got more coming in the future. Otherwise, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally think about subscribing. I've got videos coming out twice a week, and if you like this one, there's at least a chance you'll like some of the others that are very similar to this, so live dangerously. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments, and other videos you'd like to see. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Huntin for Games to keep up with all the latest stuff. See ya.